It was many months before my next visit to his shop. So after 2 years, many months before, he again visited Mr. Gessler's shop. This time it appeared to be his elder brother handling a piece of leather. So when he entered the shop, he thought that there was his elder brother. "Well, Mr. Gessler," I said, "how are you?" He came close and peered at me. So, to his elder brother, he said, "How are you?" He asked, "How are you?" "I'm pretty well. I'm pretty well," he said slowly. "But my elder brother is dead." Okay, so the person, Mr. Gessler, thought that it was Mr. Gessler's elder brother, but he said that my elder brother is dead. So it is himself. Okay, Mr. Gessler himself. And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and worn. So when he saw the age of this Mr. Gessler, other thought that it was his elder brother, but it was himself, Mr. Gessler himself. Now he seems much aged and worn. One means pale, very weak. And never before I heard him mention his brother. Much shocked, I murmured, "Oh, I'm sorry." So when he heard this, he felt sad and he said that, "I'm sorry." "Yes," he answered. "He was a good man. He made good boot, but he is dead." So Mr. Gessler said that, saying about his brother, he says that he was a good man and he made good boots. And he touched the top of his head where the hair had suddenly gone, as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Okay, so he touched it, speaking to him, he touched the top of his head and he became bald. The hair of his head has gone. Okay, and that is why the author misunderstands him as his elder brother. "Do you want any boots?" Okay, but he asked, "Do you want any boots?" And he helped up the leather in his hand. "It is a beautiful piece." And he asked him, showing the leather in his hands. Okay, he said that it is a beautiful piece. The leather is good. And do you want any boots? I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. So the author ordered many pairs of boots, and it was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. Okay, so he is talking about the thing that happened a few months ago. So the shoes were better. Okay, the best ones. One simply could not wear them out, and soon after that I went abroad. So he got this. After getting these pairs of boots, he soon went abroad. It was over a year before I was again in London. So after a few years he came back, and almost an year before he again came London. And the first shop I went to was my old friend's, and first he visited his friend's shop, that is Mr. Gessler's shop. I had left a man of 60. I came back to one of 75, pinched and worn, who genuinely this time did not at first know me. So when he was leaving abroad, Mr. Gessler was a man of 60, and after 1 year, when he came back, he saw a man of 75. That means the age is only 61, but he looks like an old man, like a 75-year-old man, very thin and old and weak. Okay, that seems he is only 65 years old now, but when we look at them, he has a figure of a old person, like a 75-year-old man, very thin and old and weak. And first he could not recognize him. "Do you want any boots?" he said. "I can make them quickly. It is a slack time." Okay, so when he saw the author, he asked, "Do you want any boots? I can make them very quickly because it is a slack time." Slack time means without much business. He was free now. Okay, there isn't much orders and anything like that. So I can make it them very quickly because I have less business this time. I answered, "Please, please, I want boots all around, every kind." And the author ordered for many boots. I had given those boots up when one evening they came. But the author thought that he was too aged and the boots will never came to him. Because the author thought that he was too weak and old, so he cannot make boots. Even though he ordered, he believed that they would never come. But it came one evening. One by one I tried them on. Okay, one by one he wore that shoes in shape and fit, in finish and quality of leather. They were the best he had ever made. So after wearing the boots, the author could realize that in fit and finish and the quality of leather he had used, everything was the best he had ever made. These are the best boots that Mr. Gessler has ever made in quality, shape and fit, everything. It is perfect. I flew downstairs, wrote a check and posted it at once with my own hand. And he posted a check, lot of money to the shoemaker because he liked it so much. So he wrote a check and posted it in his own by his own hands. A week later, passing the little street, I thought I would go in and tell him how splendidly the new boots fitted. So, after 1 week, while he was passing through the street, he thought that he should visit the shop. He should visit the shop and tell him how wonderful your boots are to him. But when I came to where his shop had been, his name was gone. But when the author came to the place where his shop situated, there was no signboard can be seen there. Okay, his name was gone. I went in very much disturbed. So the shop was there, but the name of the shop was changed. Okay, so he entered the shop. But because he was much disturbed. In the shop there was a young man with an English face. But instead of Mr. Gessler, he could see a young man there. "Mr. Gessler in?" I said. So he asked, "Is there Mr. Gessler?" "No, sir," he said. "No, but we can attend to anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over." So the young man replied that no, sir, Mr. Gessler is not here, but we can take any orders from you. We have taken the shop over. We bought this shop from Mr. Gessler. "Yes, yes," I said, "but Mr. Gessler?" "Oh," he answered, "dead." Okay, when the author said, "Where is Mr. Gessler?" the young man answered that he was dead. "Dead? But I only received these boots from him last Wednesday week." "Dead?" But the author was much shocked. He said, "Dead. I received these boots from the last Wednesday." "Ah," he said, "poor old man starved himself." Okay, starving means a state of being hunger. That means without food. Without food, he died. He died without having food. Died of hunger. Slow starvation, the doctor called it. So he died because of slow starvation. Slow starvation means without having food on correct time. You see, he went to work in such a way. He works very hard all through the day. Would keep the shop on. Wouldn't have a soul touch his boots except himself. He would keep his shop on and he will not allow any other person to make boots, to touch the boots he is making. He wanted to do it himself alone. When he got an order, it took him such a time. Uh, it take much time to make. He take much time, a long time to make boots. People won't wait. People cannot wait for many days. He lost everybody, so he lost the customers. He lost his customers because he take a long time to make boots. So the people having the patience to wait for many days, so he lost his customers. And there he would sit, going on and on. I will say that for him, not a man in London made a better boots. So the young man says that he made the best boots. Not a man in London can make better boots like Mr. Gessler. But look at the competition. But because of the competition, he never advertised. He made no advertisement for his shoes. Would have the best leather too. He used the best leather and do it all himself. He used the high quality leather and he do it all himself. He made perfect boots, high quality boots, but he never uh, give any advertisement. So he lost all his business. Well, there it is. What could you expect with his ideas? So even though he made high quality boots, people are not ready to wait for many days. So they used to buy shoes from big firms, seeing the advertisement. So he lost all his business and customers. But starvation, but the author cannot believe why he dies because of starvation without having food. That may be a bit flowery, that may be a bit exaggerated. As the saying is, but I know myself he was sitting over his boots day and night. So the young man says that it is exaggerated because starvation means he has money to buy food and all, but the problem is he was sitting over his boots day and night. To the very last, you see, okay, he was making boots for all the time without having food at correct time. He was making boots all day and night. I used to watch him. Okay, the young man says that whenever I see, he was always making boots without having food. Never gave himself time to eat. Never had a penny in the house. So his concentration is only to make boots. So he never eat himself. He never eat food on correct time and never had a penny in the house. He hasn't much money in his house also. All went in rent and leather. Whatever money he gets from shoemaking, he spent that money for rent and for buying leather. How he lived so long, I don't know. So the young man says that how he lived so long without having food on correct time. He regularly let his fire go out. He lost his strength day by day. He was a character, but he made good boots. He was a different character, but he made good boots. Yes, I said he made good boots. The author agreed. Yes, of course, he made good boots. So the story is written by John Galsworthy. Thank you.